y'all know I can't sing for shit. That he don't mean sometimes.
Quick to flip the script on this relationship. I know you can't read my mind.
2 a.m.
I've been on the way since 10:45.
And I can hardly drive. Blurry lines. That's what I'm talking about. Sebastian Cole, Numb. Go get this album. I'm telling you, man. Blurry lines, yeah. And just in case anybody want to fucking say anything, I have personal permission to use this song. Sebastian Cole was just on the show, so stop giving me my motherfucking marks.
You know me, I get drunk a bit, it be Bible verses than politics. I can barely speak, but I'm talking shit. Words like can't see it sometimes. You be on the phone, that's sick, worried
about me sometimes.
Pray I'll make it home just fine. I'm outside with these blurry lines, yeah.
Right. All right, that's it. That's what I want to hear. Blurry lines, yeah. I don't know what happened, man. I'm like a little irked off, man. I'm a little irked. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Got me ready, gone. All right, man. So, hey, check this out. If you like what you're hearing in the background, man, that's Blurry Lines by Sebastian Cole, the cat that was just on here. He will be back. We're giving him a few minutes. Rob's taking care of some. He's gonna make sure everything's right on his side. He'll be right back on, man. But I wanted to fucking say, I really appreciate everybody for coming in, joining the conversation. You know what I mean? Everything that you guys had to say, man. It was a great conversation. So we're going to probably do this extended for maybe an hour or so. And then we'll call it a night. All right? But we wanted to actually talk about this shit. Hi, nice hanging out with y'all tonight. Hey, it was great. I appreciate it, Constance. Like real shit. Every single time you came in here, I do want to let you know, I've enjoyed all of your comments. I appreciate everything that you bring to the table. You know what I mean? I don't respect a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie. I like Rob. I like Sebastian. I like my guy Drunken Monk because you know me and Drunken Monk been knowing each other. But I'm really coming to really appreciate you, and I want you to know that because you've came with real shit. Just like my motherfucking my queen Shatira. You know what I mean? That's my girl right there. I love her to death. You know what I mean? And I really, really, really appreciate everybody's comments. I appreciate everything that you guys have brought to the table, man. So I do want to say thank you for coming in. I want to say thank you for coming in, supporting me and Rob in this venture. And hopefully we'll be able to make this shit bigger than it ever was. I do want to apologize. We do not know what the fuck happened. We started everything seemed to be working. There was a few minor glitches in there, but we thought it would still be all right. Something happened. Is on us, right? Listen, don't be surprised if people are killing the stream, because I have opinions that people don't agree with. You know, Sebastian is a little bit more open-minded to things, and Rob tends to be a little bit more open-minded to things. You know, so maybe we got smacked up a little bit. There we go. That's my guy. My dude's back up on here. No homo though. No homo though. Oh wait, let me put you on screen. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, what's good, bro? Yeah, Haps, man. Haps with that nonsense, man.
Right, that's Haps with the nonsense. But what we gonna do is, we're gonna start doing this. Maybe we can do, you know, another day a week, and I'll probably just do a YouTube, just YouTube.
Yeah,
that'll probably make everything a little bit better.
Yeah,
yeah, we've been going it for years. Yeah. I'm saying, you know how bad I've been going in on ops, bro.
Right.
For 7 years straight, I've been going in on white folks and going in on every other group that wants to oppose black folks for 7 years. Motherfuckers know. Anybody
Right.
that knows me from Periscope knows exactly what the fuck I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it is what it is, man. So far, man, let me ask you something. Cause I know we don't all agree, right? Me, you, and Sebastian. We don't agree on everything.
Nah,
Right?
we don't agree on everything. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like,
Because I
but
think it's important that we don't agree.
but it don't matter if we agree on everything because white people gonna say we think the same shit anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because I think, and honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The thing that connects people like me, Rob, Sebastian Cole, Drunken Monk, and other people that go live and the people who talk about the things that we talk about, the one commonality around all of us, where we're able to sit down, we're able to have a conversation, we're able to, be open-minded to each other's opinion. The key about this is that we all ultimately have the same end goal. We might differ on how to get to the end goal, right? But we all agree that the end goal is the same, and the end goal needs to be for black folks to do as well as they can and not just survive, but thrive
Right.
and be able to live free. Right?
Right. The only people that got a problem with anything that we talking about is white people because they just don't think that people should just do anything. They just want to be able to continuously have talking points and nonsense to say. And, us just stay in a perpetual state of nonsense so they can complain about shit and blame their failures on us. Like, that's literally it. You know what I mean?
And I ain't having that. What's going on? Sorry,
Nah,
sorry,
not at
late,
all.
man.
What's good, bro? What's good? Sorry about
What's
that.
good?
I don't know what happened to the stream, bro. Like, that shit just, like, man, Haps just killed my computer, man.
I don't know what the fuck that was, but Sebastian Cole, let me say, right off the bat, man, I have enjoyed this night totally. It's been a long time since we've been able to converse and go back and forth, and
Good times, man.
always,
facts.
man. And it's a beautiful thing. I think we need more of that. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think we need more brothers who don't necessarily agree 100% with each other, but are able to sit down and have dialect and conversation. I mean, how important do you think that is right now in our community, Sebastian?
I want to say to you, man. Again, I said this earlier, but I appreciate you for having me on, and I appreciate the fact that you said what you basically said. Okay, we don't. Our methods don't necessarily have to match as much as our goals have to match, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I say this a lot, like to somebody who might think, he being too politically correct, or trust me, there is a place for me in the struggle.
Right.
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 You're gonna need somebody like me,
right,
somewhere,
right.
and trust me, I'm gonna need somebody like you
Mm-hmm.
somewhere.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Not all of us. As a matter of fact, it would be, again, going back to us being social creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Us being a social species means that we allowed each other to specialize. We can't. If we all did the exact same thing, we would get nothing done.
Exactly.
Right. So there are some of us that are militant and who really feel like fuck them, rifles up and da 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 da. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm not here to, what I'm saying. I'm never here to down that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you need people like that to light the fire in the ass sometimes.
Right.
There are
And
people like me.
to defend everybody.
Yeah. I am an institutionalist at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is in my nature to try to understand whatever. Like that's what got me in so much trouble as a kid. Like, you couldn't just tell me something. I'm gonna ask you why, how, when, what they did, right? Like, I'm just inquisitive by nature, and I always, so there's a place for people like me, right? Like, and
Right.
and I want to respect the place for people like you, right?
Right.
Like, for you know, because I can't get rid of you, and I don't want to get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? Like if
I would
let's
hope
say
not.
I had the right. Let's say my answer was the answer to like no fucking answer, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like there's just one switch we could just go hit and shit straight for black people tomorrow.
Right.
It just don't work like that.
It really
You know
don't.
what I'm saying? And that's why I keep saying that if you gonna hold that down, if you gonna go about it that way, I'm gonna go about it this way. I'm gonna go see if I can get the political system to move a little bit for me, and we'll meet in the middle.
Yeah, that's right.
At some point, these paths will cross again, and we'll say, okay, I got this part ready for you, Izzy. All I need you to do now is say that.
Right.
Right. You'll say, hey, Sebastian, I got this part ready for you. They need somebody to come in and be political right now. Come in here and say that shit you said.
Right.
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 Because if we don't understand that about each other, then I'm not preparing the way for you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like that's ultimately my goal. I want to make this, I want to prepare a way, even if I don't fix it, I want to be to lay some groundwork for the person behind me or the person beside me to say, okay, he got us this far. We could take that.
Right. And go from there.
We can go in from here. And the strategy going to get different. It's going to be a different strategy at every step. Again, it's layers. Right. But if we attack them from different angles, and ultimately I keep in mind that my goal is not to be. It was a Satan that said it, if your goal is to be equal with a white person, you shooting too low. Right, like that's my goal is not to be equal with anybody. My goal is for you to be autonomous. You are never free until you are unconcerned with the opinions of your oppressor. My goal is that you will never have to have a white thought in your life. That doesn't mean that white people won't exist. Right. My goal is not to exterminate white people. My goal is for you to not have to be concerned with it.
Right. Now I get that. Absolutely. So now I might be trying to. I might be trying to eliminate some of them motherfuckers. But yeah, I'm with you for the most part. You know what I mean? I'm with you.
When I say white people, I mean on Moss, right? My goal is never to eliminate white people. I don't have anything against white people. I'm not a murderer. I'm not a genocidist. That's not how I get down.
That's right.
But my goal is that you won't have to be concerned with their opinions.
Right.
Right. And I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel either. I don't like expending excess energy. But there are some people who do want to reinvent the wheel, and there's nothing wrong with it. Somebody need to look at the wheel and say, this ain't working for me. I'm going to make another wheel. I ain't mad with you for that.
Right. Might need to be smaller, bigger, might need to be fatter, and you know what I mean? Because there's different roads in life. Like, just like when we are on these streets, right? There's paved roads, there's rocky roads, there's dirt roads, there's muddy roads, there's all these different type of roads, and you need different type of tires to fit those roads. So absolutely.
And that's how I think we make our best strides, man. You know, the internet is really good for hot takes, right? You know, I'm gonna say the thing that gets me the most attention, and you know, whatever. But hot takes ain't how the world move in real life, man. The world this is a slow, grueling process. I keep saying that, man. Like, life don't move fast, man. We don't live long, but life don't give a fuck about that, man. This planet been around billions of years, bro. We got billions more to go. We just gonna do our little piece, man.
Right. We a little tiny ion in the bigger, grander scheme of everything. You know what I mean?
So we just do our part, and we do the best. I'm not saying that to say we can't make anything happen. I put all my energy into making as much happen as I can, but I realize somebody gonna have to build on what I did. Somebody gonna have to build on what they did. Right. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't see the promised land, that's okay. I definitely guarantee I got us a couple steps closer.
That's right. You know what I mean? Because remember what Tupac said? He said, I might not be the one to lead the revolution or start the revolution, but I guarantee you I'm going to be the guy that sparks the mind of the dude that does lead that revolution. You understand? Absolutely. So he understands that he's just a cog in the greater, right? And we all got to understand it. I think honestly, I'm not going to lie too. And yeah, I'm going to make this a little bit of a jab to believers, but don't get too in your feelings. Okay. But the fact of the matter is this: as an atheist, I think that's one thing that atheism has given me. It's given me the ability to look at myself in a more humble manner, right? You know what I mean? Because it does. It makes me realize, like, honestly, I am just nothing but a small little motherfucking piece of the bigger picture. And
Big
it
picture,
helps,
man.
right? And it helps me deal with it, and it helps me move on. And hopefully somebody catches on to what I'm saying, Rob's saying, Sebastian's saying, and other people that come into our post and take that shit and run with it. You know what I mean?
Man,
Right.
and when we do these little things, bro, we think of them as little things, but if you, one time, my great granddaddy lived to be 108,
Wow.
and I went to his 100th birthday party, and I went to his 105th birthday party too. So, but he had one when he turned 100, and my great granddaddy was from a little small town called Pine Apple, two separate words, Alabama.
Wow.
And there is a school in Pineapple. There is not like an elementary school, middle school. There is a school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he had his party at the school, and we were in the gym. And my granddad was a very healthy man. He drove till he was 100.
Mm-hmm.
At, lived, very vital life. Had 13 children,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of the party, we were taking pictures, and so he took a picture in the gym, just him by himself, right? Photographer took a picture, then he took a picture with him and his 13 kids. It was 14 of them, right?
Right.
And he had, I want to say, between 65 and 70 grandkids, right? So he took a picture with him, his kids, and his grandkids, and that was about 90 people almost, right?
Wow.
And they took up like a half a bleacher, right?
Right.
And then he took a picture with him, his grandkids, and his great grandkids. I think he had like 140 of us.
Wow.
140 great grands. And so we took up a whole bleacher, whole side of the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The photographer had to go to the other side of the gym to even take a picture of us. Right. Then he had took a picture of him, the kids, the grandkids, the great grands, and I think he had like 85, 86 great grands.
Wow.
Right. And we had to go outside. The photographer had to get up on the fucking roof and shoot us like a class.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. I say that to say that one man caused all that life.
Right.
Now, what he did was fuck. All he did was have sex. But that small act that he put into motion put all those other things into motion.
Right.
My great grandfather, he died when I think I was like 18. I want to say 18. He died when I was 18. He never got to see me be this.
Wow.
But my great grandfather had a cousin. I'll show you this. My great grandfather had a cousin named Noah, and Noah was gay.
Mm-hmm.
No. He had a nephew named Noah. That's right. Noah was gay in little bitty Pineapple, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Right, gay black man in there. That wasn't the way.
South, deep South, yeah.
Deep South, right? My cousin Noah, he left Pineapple, Alabama, and went to Morehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Got him a degree in art. And then he left Atlanta and moved out to LA. He moved out here to LA, and he was here during the Watts riots.
Right.
And what he did was he went around the riots and picked up trash. No bullshit. Went around, picked up trash, like garbage. So like tires and lamps that were broken and boards, and he put them on a truck. And he drove them out to Joshua Tree, California, out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
And he built a little art installation. It's like a little city built out of trash. I didn't know that
exactly
about that cousin.
I know exactly what you're talking about too.
Okay. Well, one day I'm out in Joshua Tree, California with a girl, and the girl says to me, "Oh, I want to go see this art installation." She's really into art. So we go by and see it, and I'm reading about the thing, and it doesn't look like much. It's just a trash heap, but it's built into a city. I was like, this is really weird, right? Who made this? And it said, Noah Purifoy. And I said, Purifoy? Ain't a whole lot of fucking Purifoys in the world now.
Right.
I've never met Noah, but Purifoy is a very specific last name. So I look up Noah Purifoy and I find out he's from Pineapple, Alabama, and that's my granddaddy's nephew, right?
Wow.
But these little small things that we do, even if it's not denounced to us,
Mm-hmm.
we move the needle forward. We move the
Absolutely.
needle forward.
Absolutely.
And it's in every way that we go about doing it.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
That's
In
right.
every way that we go about doing it. There are some drug dealing, liquor running Italians that was extorting and pimping and prostituting and doing that built the city of Las Vegas
Absolutely.
in everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Am I making sense? Like
You are making total sense.
everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be thinking about Black liberation. So I look at it that way, man, and you know, so I don't knock however you want to come about it, as long as your goal is that.
Right. And that's all I care about. Like that's why
Yeah.
I don't have a problem speaking to all these different black folks. As long as our goals are the same. We can
Yeah.
disagree and we can debate and we can sharpen each other's iron, on all the other subjects.
Yeah.
But if the ultimate goal is the same, I'm fucking with you.
I'm fucking with you. But
All
you
day.
know what's crazy is I feel like a lot of folks, it's some of us who have similar goals and some of us do not.
Mhm.
There are some people who sound like they got my goal,
Mm-hmm.
but they
they
really on something else. Like speaking of religion, we talked about religion, and I agree with you when you say being a skeptic and an atheist. It really did put me into a perspective because I no longer felt created. I felt like a part of something bigger than me.
Ain't that something, ain't it?
Right. The created me was created specially, and the world revolved around me.
Right.
But the evolved me recognizes my monkey cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The evolved me recognizes my white cousins, man. Like everybody got a fucked up cousin, bro.
Everybody got the
one,
drunk
man.
uncle, right?
And you got a crackhead uncle, bro.
Right.
And as fucked up as your crackhead uncle is, that's your crackhead uncle, man.
Right.
And so the evolved me recognizes my white cousins, man. And my white cousins, they wild sometimes, man. They are a wild bunch.
Wigga just said Wigga G, and I don't know if you know Wigga, but Wigga G that's my girl. She's like been the best troll I've ever had.
You gotta love a good troll.
Bro, like no shit. I didn't know who Wigga was for 2 years. I know who she is now, right?
Yep.
But she is hands down the best troll I've ever had in my whole entire life. And she's actually made me think about some shit because she'll, every once in a while, even though she's joking, she'll pose a question. And I do appreciate that. You know what I mean? That you're like, oh shit, oh my God.
You need some good trolls like that.
Absolutely.
Man, it was things like that, good trolls, that made me really reconsider my positions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
again, even my adversaries, you're gonna have to have friction to have motion.
That's right.
Right? You need friction to have motion, man. So
That's right.
even my adversaries, they can be useful in my goal. You know what I'm saying? I can't take the fact that they're adversarial to me to mean I can't get there. They are the means, but they are the mechanisms by which I achieve.
That's right.
My enemies are the mechanisms by which I achieve. My trolls are they promote something. They tuned in. They're at least a live viewer. Right. So and when you look at it that way and consider it all a part of the goal.
Right.
Right. And recognizing that we are just a part of this big ass. We on a little bitty rock spinning around in the middle of nothing, man. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, it's really wild shit when you think about it, bro. We on a little bitty rock spinning around in the middle of what would kill us anywhere else. Like, if you step off this rock, you are the fuck gone. Right?
You are not around nowhere.
Bro, you are the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So
and a lot of things, and again, I agree because okay, and as an atheist, and And here's the thing: a lot of people don't realize, because I've been an atheist for 25 years, bro.
Okay.
And so the thing is I still learn things today that I never would have thought that I would have learned. I've I've talked to people that I never thought that I would talk to. I've and I have a lot more appreciation for a lot of things. And a lot of people think that you lose appreciation when you don't have some sort of spiritual guidance or some sort of God to follow. But I find that to be absolutely opposite of true. It tells me that when I help you, I'm helping you not because I'm trying to get into pearly gates. I'm helping you because it's the right thing to do. Right?
Hey, can I address this one little issue right
Please
here?
go ahead.
It's Wigger too, I think. Okay. I love this question.
Mhm.
How can you be an atheist if there is no God to believe in? I want to answer that question.
Go ahead.
I want to answer that question. I never made the assertion that there was no God. I'm not that kind of atheist. I'm the kind of atheist that does not give a fuck if there is one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I would not assert to you that there was no God.
Mm-hmm.
I am just not convinced that there is one. And even if there were one, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Right. And so you would be a agnostic atheist.
I'm an agnostic atheist.
Right. I am an agnostic atheist.
Yeah.
Right. So the difference is for him, agnostic means I don't know, and it really doesn't fucking matter either
one way or the other.
Right.
If by chance you prove to me that there was a God, I would totally believe that there is a God. I would not worship that God regardless.
Right. Right. And I'm just an agnostic atheist, which means I don't know if there's a God, but based off the evidence that I have, I don't see no proof of any kind of God. Now, the thing is at the end of the day, if there was a God, especially a Christian God, I would not care.
I wouldn't give a fuck. If I found out tomorrow Yahweh really existed and was God, bro, I am totally okay with not giving a fuck.
Right.
Like, I'm not. First off, eternal life is a horrible idea.
You know what? Here's the thing. I actually don't mind not eternal life, but an extended life.
Extended life, fuck with. I want to be alive as long as I can. You get what I'm saying? But I don't want to do nothing for eternity. Bro, after the first trillion years of telling Jesus he's great, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus, you're great. You don't get that by now? Like, sign me the fuck up to get out of here. Like, I'm done with this, bro. Like, after the first trillion years, I am the fuck out of here, man. Like, get me out of here. You know what I'm saying? The thing that makes life so special is it isn't eternal.
Right. And see, me, I don't care if there's a God or not. I say this shit all the time. I wish there were vampires. I wish vampires were real. So I could fucking live as long as I wanted to fucking live. Right. Yeah. And then I'll just, when I get tired of it, I'll just go out in the sun or drink some holy water or fucking get some garlic or some shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. When I'm tired of it, right? When I'm just like, oh, this is boring now, right? But I'm so enthusiastic about life. I love life. I think life is a beautiful thing. I think because as an atheist or as an agnostic atheist, the fact of the matter is I understand that there is only but one of these.
Man, you only get this experience one time.
Right. As far as I know, I only get one opportunity. You see what I'm saying? So I would love to experience as much as possible and see time and see how it goes. But at the same time, I don't know if I necessarily want to be here forever.
Yeah, I don't want to be nowhere for forever, bro. Like that's like, bro, like that's just a horrible idea. And yeah, so atheism, agnostic atheism has helped me to see this world from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. It helped me too. Same.
Yeah, like I got such an appreciation for this place and the people here, and even the animals, the bugs, even, bro.
Right.
Like I have such a different appreciation for that it's like, yo, man, like
Isn't it strange?
Yeah, man, this is a weird ass place to be in, man. This is really fucking weird. Like,
because think about it, like you would have known, like even me, like when I was like really on it, I was supposed to be the pastor of my daddy's church. You know what I mean? Like I told everybody, like I still own my daddy's church. You see what I'm saying? It's still mine. You see what I'm saying? I don't run it. I don't take money from it. I don't run it. I don't fucking do anything in it. The most I do is go over there. If bills need to be paid, I'll take care of them, but usually they don't. I might help out if they need help. I'll go every fucking 6 months or so. You know what I mean? Right. Check in, see how everybody's doing and shit. Yeah. Outside of that, I don't fuck with it. You know why? Because I don't believe in it, and I don't think it's right for me to go in there and take over a church that I don't believe.
You don't believe in it. You don't believe in the hustle.
Yeah.
Like again, I think that religion at one point was our first attempt at science.
Yeah. True.
It was our first attempt at trying to. Daniel Dennett, the guy I keep telling y'all about, he said that our brains evolved to understand medium-sized things moving at medium speeds.
Right.
There was no reason for us to understand the extremely large or the extremely small, or the extremely fast or the extremely slow.
Right.
Right. So our brains just aren't evolved to understand this big ass planet. We had to develop a method to understand that, or to understand how fast we're moving and relativity and da 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 da. Like our brains are like, we didn't have to evolve to do that. We had to develop a method to do that. You get what I'm saying? And so when I look at religion as a tool a placeholder for what I do not know, literally the argument from incredulity.
Absolutely.
Then I understand it has its place. But at this point in history, there is no reason for you to be incredulous.
Right. So I was asked a question from Shatira. She wanted me to ask you a question. Okay. Can you ask Sebastian when he gonna give me my headscarf back?
Hey, man. Be glad I ain't got that bitch on right now. Be glad. I might bust out. I need to tie this down. You know what I'm saying? I got the waves in the morning.
Look. At the end of the day, you need to be putting them motherfucking waves up in the beard right there. I don't know if you seen that. They waving the beards.
Yeah.
That's luxurious as hell to me. I can't even hold you.
Show is, boy. I can't even be mad at it. Man. Oh man, that's crazy. All right, so let's get. You know what? I want to kind of toil around this religion thing a little bit. So you do your streams. You still have a lot of believers in your streams. Like, do they ever question you as much as they used to question me on Periscope, or what?
You know, the crazy piece about the people that stream with me is a lot of them won't question me. And I really been asking them to question me, because I don't want to argue with you about whether or not your belief is valid. I want you to understand my epistemology.
Right.
Today I made an offer I was talking about vaccines, and I was like, look, do me a favor. I'll debate anybody about the vaccine, right? Find any anti-vaxxer that wants to debate me about the vaccine. I was trying to get a rack out of you. Yeah. And I will pay you $100 to do the debate. But the catch is you have to debate the pro-vaccination side.
Right.
Right. And if you win that debate, I'll pay you $200. And the reason that I wanted to do that is because to me, I know you know your side. I know you get your side. When it comes to religion, I know you get your side. And I'm not trying to change your position. Right. But I want you to understand mine. Trust me, I've been religious. So I understand your side. I've been there. I know every argument you're going to give me. Because believe you me, I've been there.
Right.
Right. You've never been here. So ask me, right? Like, ask me whatever it is so I can help you understand how it is that I came to this as an understanding.
Right.
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 And it's not about whether, but most people are afraid to even question the idea because they think it's a sin to ask questions.
Well, let's just be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, they feel they have some sort of fear, right?
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, it's kind of like what is it that they call it? Oh, what is the name? I don't know why I do know why. I'm slipping my mind right now because I'm on some Patron.
Okay.
But it's on what is that shit when you just don't want to accept the truth?
Delusion.
Yeah, but there's another word for it.
Was that cognitive dissonance?
Cognitive dissonance.
Oh,
Thank
cognitive
you.
dissonance.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a cognitive dissonance that we're dealing with across the board on a lot of different things, including vaccinations, including religion, including our personal beliefs on how we think on a day-to-day basis, right? And a lot of people are afraid to shatter that reality. And honestly, I think one of the biggest things about life is how to overcome fear. Because if you didn't have fear, you would be willing and you would be open-minded to looking up other positions, just like you challenge people to, here, I want you to make an argument on my side, and I'm going to make an argument on your side.
I'll make the argument on your side.
And that's what that is it's a test of cognitive dissonance. Are you afraid of it or are you not?
Are you afraid? That's the thing, man. Like, can you put together the argument? And are you so attached to your side that you can't be objective? That's like one of the things that I try to pride myself on in life is being objective. Right. I would rather be right than righteous. I would rather be, you know what I'm saying? I would rather be truthful than honest, because there are a lot of honest people out here, right? Like they're telling you the truth from their side. They're not lying to you. They're being honest. But I would rather be truthful than honest, right? What is objectively true, right? So, and a lot of people are afraid of the objective truth because of what the objective truth might mean to them. But I have no attachment to what it means. What it means, I can lead it up to the birds. There's a fluke, like a parasite that can only reproduce itself in the belly of carnivores. Right. It can only reproduce itself in the belly of carnivores, and it has evolved to basically attach itself to mice brains and make the mouse go crazy.
Right, like the zombie mouse thing.
Like a zombie mouse.
Right.
And that zombie mouse will just run out in the middle of cats. Do something completely against its own nature. It will run out in the middle of cats to be eaten. Just so that fluke can make it into the belly of a cat and reproduce itself. Now, to the cat, this is a free lunch. To the mouse, it is suicide. To the fluke, it is life everlasting. And think about what I'm saying, right? To the cat, it is free lunch. To the mouse, it is suicide. To the fluke, it is life everlasting, right? And what I'm like, in this world, there are the flukes, the preachers who really do benefit from hopping in these mice brains and running you out into the world unprepared, right? Thinking that life works on your intuition and your credulity or whatever, getting run over in the world that's gonna eat you like free lunch. Right. Like nobody like it's a lady right now that's in court for the insurrection shit back on January, who doing all this Christian sovereign being. We are, baby, you going to prison. Right. To the cat, you are free lunch, baby. You are free lunch. That's real. Free lunch, baby. That's real. You can do all that talking and shit. Right, like you are free lunch to the cat. They gonna eat your ass up. They finna throw you in a box. To the fluke, you are everlasting life. Because what they gonna do is they gonna say, look at the system. See, they oppressing us. They try to keep us from knowing that we are. This is everlasting life. They gonna use you as a martyr to keep doing what they doing. And the moment I wise up to that, then I can say, oh, fuck this. I'm not going to be free lunch to anybody.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
You're going to have to earn this. I ain't saying
That's
I can't
right.
be eating. I'm just saying.
You're going to have to earn this motherfucking meal.
You going to sweat for this one.
Yeah, that's real shit. That's real shit. Now, let me ask you something, because you had talked about a lot of different things throughout this whole time that you've been streaming, and it's like I want to touch on so many things, because it's like I know you're busy, and I know it's going to be probably a minute before I get you back on here. But the thing is let me ask you something. Do you think, and I'm going to bring it back to religion, because honestly, I am going to start talking a little bit more about religion on here, so I want people to be ready for that. But do you think that people who read the Bible actually care about reading the Bible? Do you think that people truly read the Bible? Do you think they study it, or do you think that they just take what they like out of it and then just kind of live their life with it?
I'm going to say, I use my father, for example. My father's a pastor too.
Mm-hmm.
My father has read every word in the Bible. I guarantee you he has.
Right.
But if I asked you what he got from the book,
Mm-hmm.
the Bible is one of the few books on the planet
Mm-hmm.
that people do not read. They recite. They don't read it.
That's real.
They recite it.
I love that. I'm
So
still in that.
So they look at the words in order to prove what they think, not necessarily what the writer said.
Right.
And I was victim of that for a very, very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
reading the Bible all the way through is what made me start to doubt it.
bro, if you ever want to find if you ever want to find atheists, find somebody who read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an atheist, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not a like 100%. I just believe everything that is in the Bible and Christianity is 100% right. Like I reading the Bible, going to a religious school and going to church is literally what made me be like, I'm just sitting here listening to a bunch of stuff that don't make sense.
Well, let me say it this way: if you ever want to make a skeptic, how about that?
Yeah. That's a better word.
If you ever want to make a skeptic,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then that's the best way to do it is give somebody a Bible. Just let them read it. Read it from front to back, and just tell me what you read. Right? Don't tell me how you interpreted it. Just tell me what you saw in front of you.
That's right.
And the more and more you sit down and think about, what did I just read? Like what did this actually say? Not what am I exegeting from it or eisegeting into it?
Right.
But what does it say?
Right.
Right. And the more you get into what it actually says, the more you recognize, okay, this can't be it, pimp. Like this can't be it. This just ain't it, Chief.
Let me ask you something.
Where, bro?
What was the moment? I mean,
You
because
muted,
I
bro.
know you. Oh, wait, hold on.
You
Can you hear
good now.
me?
You good? Yeah, it
Okay.
went out for a minute, but you good now, bro.
All right.
Yeah, you good.
So because I remember you, right? And again, we've had a lot of conversations. We had a 3-hour conversation over the phone privately.
Yeah.
About history, the Bible, and a lot of different things. And what was it that made you kind of start questioning things? Honestly, just what was it that made you start saying, wait a minute? Was it reading the Bible? Was it something that somebody said? What was it?
Man, you know what? Okay. My belief in God was based on the idea that I like to know how the world works. Okay. So I thought that was the best explanation for how the world works.
At the time.
Yes. At the time, I thought, okay, this best describes how the world works. And then somebody said something to me that fucked me up.
Okay.
Friend of mine, and we used to study together, really good friend of mine. And my man said, yo, you read the Bible and you can find out about a lot of different kind of people in the Bible, can't you? And I said, yeah. And he said, not one of them's West African.
Wow.
What? Wait, hold on. Say that again, bro. He said, it's a lot of different kind of people in the Bible, right? Yeah. Not one of them is West African, right? God
Mhm.
didn't speak to no West Africans at all. And that really fucked my world up because in order for me to understand how the world works, I'm a West African man. So the world got to include me. I'm in the world.
Right.
And once I recognized, oh, that guy wasn't talking to me. Oh, okay, I'm good. Like he wasn't talking to me.
Mhm.
Like even if he exists, he
Right.
clearly was
Right.
not talking to me. That was
Right.
the beginning. Once I recognized he
Okay.
wasn't talking to me, I was off of it. He was talking to people in the Middle East. He was talking to Greeks and Romans and Egyptians and Palestinians and
Mhm.
right, like
A,
okay,
a lot of
God,
people don't
God just so
realize
happened to
this.
be talking to all non-melanated people. He just so
yeah.
happened to
Right.
be doing that. You know what I'm
Now,
Yeah.
saying?
what's
I
so
mean,
funny
Palestinians are
is,
melanated. Egyptians are melanated.
yeah,
Even if you give
right,
me the Ethiopians, the Cushites, they're melanated,
right,
right?
right, right,
But those are not West African people.
right. And,
So what were the West African people doing while this guy was talking over there? Because they couldn't call each other and tell each other what was going on,
mhm,
Right.
right? They were living and dying in West Africa,
right.
making cultures in West Africa, succeeding and failing in West Africa.
Mm-hmm,
They never heard of this guy,
mm-hmm.
right? They
See,
never heard of him.
and what's so funny about that is, you're right. It doesn't talk about West African people. The closest it comes to talking about West African people is actually it comes to the very mid center, close to the mid center of Africa.
Yeah,
That's the
maybe
closest
Chad.
it comes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the thing is a lot of people don't realize because I mean, I've done a lot of study and I know a lot of people will question me on this, but the fact of the matter is, true Israel is actually just north of the kingdom of Judah. A lot of people don't realize that shit.
you
I
mean what do you mean by that? Like you talking about the wider
literally,
kingdom, or you
if you
mean
if you look at Israel, right?
okay?
A lot of people will say, well, Israel is a people, right? It's
Oh
not a
yeah,
nation, right? And that's true to
that's
a
true.
degree.
Yeah,
But it is a motherfucking actual fucking place. The
right.
problem is nobody knows where the true Israel is.
Okay, okay, I get what you're
And
saying.
so, and we were talking about this actually. So, and you actually kind of know some of this without knowing it, but you do because we talked about it and I know you do, right?
Yeah.
So, there's a place called Slave Island or the Slave Coast.
Uh huh.
Right above there, right there, the Slave Coast technically is the kingdom of Judah.
Ah, okay.
Right above it
I know what
is
you're talking about
where
now.
the Bible says true Israel is,
Let
which
me
is
drop some off on you on this.
drop
Okay.
it.
All right. And this took me a long time to understand because I wanted that particular piece of information.
To
It
be
got into my
true.
confirmation bias.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. The word that we're looking at there is the word Wida. Wida. Ouidah. Wida.
Oh Lord, I'm
Okay.
gonna mute myself. Let me shut the fuck.
Um, and it does come from it does come from the Portuguese Jews that became, I forget, they came down and married into African families. I can't remember what you call them. My good friend is like, he's really abreast of this kind of stuff, but it does come from the Portuguese Jews, and they did name these people the Waidas, but the Waida technically means servant. Servant. This is why it's also known as the Slave Coast. But the Yahudites that came, the Berber Yahudites who came down, married into this place, blah 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 blah. Let me talk religion and identity. Let me just speak to religion and identity. Let's say, again, I am an Akan West African man in my daddy's lineage, Akan Ghanaian West African man. My people have Jename, right, the supreme god of the Akan deities, Jename. And they worship Jename, or they have an understanding of life through Jename. And no disrespect to that as a tradition, but just that doesn't make it true. That was my people's attempt to understand their surroundings. I have a better shot at understanding my surroundings now. I do not have to presuppose a supernatural being to understand my surroundings now. There was a time that we believed that thunder and lightning came from a god named Zeus, that rain came from a god named Neptune, right? And when you don't understand the rain cycle, that's okay. But the moment that I come to understand the rain cycle, it doesn't matter what my folk used to think the rain cycle was. It matters what I know it to be now.
That's right.
Yeah. To those who get into to biblical ideology for identity, the more you understand the way this place works, you understand that we are not the product of two people in a garden. We are, you know what I'm saying? We are very closely related. Like that, and there's no way to prove that we're the product of two people in a garden. There's no way to prove that some flood came and washed out everything on earth, so we would be the product of three men on a boat. There's no way to prove that, right? Like,
That's right.
there is actually tons of evidence to the contrary. And once I accept that there is tons of evidence to the contrary, then at some point I'm being dishonest. I'm being dishonest to try to force my God into those gaps.
That's right.
Right. But if I ever get to the edge of the universe, if ever I get to the edge of the universe and I run into that God, and I don't care what God it is, it could be Vishnu, it could be whoever. If I get to that place in the universe and I run into that God, I'm just gonna have to tell that God, you did a bad job at convincing me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And the thing is and you're not totally wrong. And here's the thing. So you understand that there is some history that's semi-true in the Bible, but not completely true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of extra that's put on it, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you believe. Do you believe in Atlantis?
No.
You don't?
I don't. I believe that there are several cities that are underwater that used to be above water. But the city of Atlantis in particular, no.
Okay.
Right.
Atlantis is not underwater.
Okay.
Atlantis, and I would push you to, and if you want, I'll even send you a link to it because I actually bought the book. But there's more than just this book that convinced me, but there's a lot of it that convinced me.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, the Eye of Rashat in Mauritania is actually Atlantis. And if you actually look at everything and all the history and everything that they have with Atlantis, you actually realize that Atlantis was true. It was real. And the fact of the matter is, it was in Africa. And I'm actually going to do a story. I'm actually going to do a whole, stream about this because I want everybody to understand this. And this is why it's so important, because it's not about religion and it's not about anything. What it is I'm searching for the truth. Right? I want the truth. That's all I care about. I don't care about a God or any of that shit. I just want the truth. Right?
Yeah.
And so I truly believe that Atlantis is actually in a place called Mauritania. And I believe that Atlantis was not how we see it on the TV. It's not full of a whole bunch of white folks. What it is it's actually full of a whole bunch of black men and women from the East Coast or from the West Coast of Africa. And from that, and from the destruction that happened to there, this is actually one of the places that you will get the origins of Christianity and a lot of other religions from. And a lot of people don't really even understand it because there was two religions, big religions, that there was Atlantean religion, there was Christianity, there was ancient Indian religion. So what are they called? The
Hindu.
The Hindu people, right? And these religions actually give you a marker, and it shows something about Africa, which was how we believed and how we have evolved throughout time. You understand? And so if you look at where Atlantis would have been. And again, I think Atlantis was actually destroyed right around 12,000 years ago, 11,600 years, 700 years, 8,000. So I rounded up to right around 12,000 years ago,
Okay.
right? And at the same time, this is where the original Israel was actually destroyed. The kingdom of Judah was actually there. And it goes all the way into Atlantis, or ancient Kemet was actually an outpost of ancient Atlantis. And I can show this with evidence. This has nothing to do with religion. This has to do with the ideologies of the different people that came. And here is how we came up with religion. But the thing is at the end of the day, we have to understand that this is not about religion. It's not about a God. It's just about knowledge. Yeah. And that's the key point about this whole thing. And I'm going to actually send you this book because I think you'll be like, yeah, trust me. I think you will really. I'm just gonna buy you the book. Watch.
My whole thing about all of this, you know, and again, where I am in my thinking about it now is, you know, from an anthropological standpoint, it's cool to understand how people thought. It's cool that we get these little writings to see how people thought. It gives me a marker to know how far we've come. Right. You know, hey, if Atlantis was there, great. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool. I know that, you know, again, the human race we're old group of people. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could show you. I don't know how to share my screen.
Okay, so right in the bottom, it says presenting.
Yeah.
Tap on that. Does it have a video or is it just a website?
It said failed to present screen. Please try again. Hit that button again. That ain't letting me do it.
It's not letting you do it. I'm going to teach you how to use this so you get very, very familiar with this real quick, fast.
There's no problem. But what I was going to show you was that, again, like my DNA, it's old. It's old.
Yeah.
You know, you know, 70,000 years worth of DNA that we can look up.
Right.
And in that 70,000 years, man, there's been a lot of great kingdoms rise and fall. It's been a lot of good ideas, a lot of bad ideas that came up and left. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, in the long run, man, I just want to know what's beneficial to me.
And the thing is I think everything is beneficial. I think I might be one of the few people to think this. This is why I love history so much, because the beneficial part of it is to understand why we think the way we think, how we came to the conclusions in which we came to, right? And then how that led us to the position in which we're in right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all of this totally fucking matters because it helps you, like history helps you navigate through the present and into the future.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's the fact that nobody wants to admit. And so I think it's really important only because I like to show that there is more to the history of humankind, Homo sapiens sapien, or even black folks. I don't know. Is that you?
That was my bad.
Oh, don't trip. I want people to understand that through this progression of life, that the only thing that's stopping us and the only thing that we need to worry about is the future. And this is what everything in history has showed me. It showed me, okay, this is what happened. Learn from it, make it better, and progress in the future to do 100 times better.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And that's why it's so important that people like pay attention to these type of things. But I don't think it's anything about a religious standpoint, because that shit is useless, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, again, from an anthropological standpoint, I think it's cool that we do get to learn these things, and I think there is a real benefit to that. Don't let me hold you on that. I think that can be really beneficial to us. but only to the degree that I get to learn something about the past, right? If I'm using this as a way to understand my present situation, it may not be so beneficial to me.
And
And I
on a very nuanced scale, I absolutely agree with you.
yeah,
I think in a more of a grandiose scale, I think it actually is super beneficial.
okay,
But on a very nuanced scale, on the scale that we're looking at things, because again, we're limited in time that we live, right?
yeah,
So we live between anywhere from 60 to 120 years, right?
yeah,
And so that's very nuanced in the state of the earth, how old the earth is, and it's
yeah,
very small and it's nothing, right? But I
yeah.
do think that it is very beneficial in the knowledge, because I think what we knew then can help us succeed now, on top
How so?
of.
Let me ask about that. That's a
Okay.
really good point. What do you think that we can learn from what we knew then that helps us succeed now?
The number one thing, this isn't a black thing, this isn't a black or white thing, but I think what we can learn is how to properly harness the energies of the earth without destroying it.
Okay, all right. And what way do you think we can harness that? What?
I believe that we can harness natural materials in order to get power, just like the Tesla coil, right?
Okay,
Where we're sharing this energy, right?
okay,
But at the same time, we're sharing it. It's free, but at the same time, we gain from things like that, right? And those are the type of ideas that I'm talking about. I'm talking about
and you think
being.
Atlantis had this?
Yeah, I do. And not on the futuristic scale. Like, I don't want you to fucking think that I'm like off the deep end
Okay,
shit. Okay.
okay,
I'm talking more along the lines of, things like we were able to harness energy the proper way without polluting the earth, right? We were able to move objects that were really large, but not with, you know, with making a lot of pollution by using fossil fuels and shit like that. We were able to
okay,
use them using magnetic sound resonance and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying?
okay,
Natural things that occur, right?
okay,
And ultimately, what that does is it helps us be more evolved, but also it helps us fucking have more respect for the animals, the planets, and the minerals that's on this planet. We don't overuse them.
okay.
You see what I'm saying? Which all these things, if we actually put them all together, what that does is it extends the life of the planet that we live on. And I think that's super important.
Extending the life of the planet does sound smart. And you feel as though this information is like, where is this information?
Okay, so the best way I can explain it is mass amnesia.
Okay,
Okay, so what I mean is something happened, and a lot of the people who created a lot of these things that, like electricity all the way around, right? You had electricity, you were able to pull those kind of forces in the magnetosphere and take advantage of it,
okay,
of that kind of shit. You were able to take advantage of all these things, but you were not damaging the planet at the same time. Those are the positive points of what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, you know, thinking that their religion is correct, or thinking
no,
that,
no, 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 no.
you know,
This is not a
that kind of.
religious point at this point at
Right.
all.
It's more of a, how can we use this planet and work with it? And the reason why that to me is so important is because if you look at every single other species on the planet, right?
Yeah.
They're beneficial to the planet. They're not hurting it.
Well, it depends on what you mean by hurting it, because I mean, bacteria out here fucking the world up.
Right, but let me ask you something. And do you think bacteria is really fucking up the planet, or is it that fucking bacteria, what it served a purpose at one time, and today, because of how we've polluted the planet and how we've destroyed the planet, the bacteria has actually overrun a lot of different things that we're dealing with today?
Well, I mean, bacteria was here before me.
Right.
Right. Bacteria been here a long, long time.
Right.
And it's parasitic to me. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
in my experience on the planet, bacteria has not been good to me. You get what I'm saying? Germs
you
have been
sure,
here a
though?
long, long time. And some of them have been beneficial to me. Some germs have been. But a lot of them will fucking get me out of here. Right. So if I'm thinking of what's beneficial for my life, I'm very antibacterial.
Right.
But
But the thing is if you're completely 100% antibacterial and you're thinking, the fact of the matter is think about this. Can you explore space? Can you go to different planets? Can you fucking be safe on different land masses across the vast universe that we have? Are you see the thing is bacteria is it's necessary.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
You see what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
it's a necessary evil for sure.
Right.
Bacteria are definitely necessary.
Right. In order for us to progress, we need bacteria.
Yeah, but again, the question becomes, what do we consider progress, right?
Right.
Like on the one hand, we do look at the world, we say, hey man, pollution is out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But pollution was a part of our progress. Now, do we have to continue to pollute the world? Hopefully
No.
not, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully we find cleaner ways to get energy, and we become more responsible
Mm-hmm.
with how what we're doing with energy, this, that, and the
Mm-hmm.
third. And if somehow there was an ancient culture that figured this out, and we can mystically decode what they were trying to tell us, and
Mm-hmm.
use that to our benefit today on
Mm-hmm.
Earth, then you have a friend and an ally in that fight in me.
Right.
But if I can't find a way to use it,
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, okay, well, it's nice to postulate that it existed.
Right.
But if I can't find a way to use it, I don't know. Like
Right. And that's the thing. And I think this is one of the comments that I really like real quick. I want to point this out real quick. Wigga G said, that's the oil for the future, and so on. And I think that's really powerful, bro, because honestly, I think right now we're doing all the things that are bad for the planet. And I'm all about this planet surviving, okay? Because I got kids. I got 3
yeah,
kids, okay?
yeah.
And them motherfuckers is going to start having sex right now, right
At
around
some
this
point,
age,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So I kind of want my kids and my legacy to keep on going.
Yeah.
Right. So I have a vested interest on making sure that we do all the proper things that we're supposed to do. And that's the key for me, because I do think that we have become, as Homo sapiens sapien, we have become actually cancers to the world, whether we realize it or not. And
I
that
can see
is
that.
going to, and that's ultimately going to kill us all off. And
That's what I was saying earlier about global warming. I mean, we've had
right.
several mass extinction events on the planet. This is not some far-fetched idea.
Right.
And
so the thing is my vested interest is the survival of my lineage.
okay.
And that's why I think it's so important to understand the history just as much as we progress in the future.
Okay.
That because that's what's most important. And whether people want to realize this or not, I do think the earth is alive and the earth is telling us something. We're having we got dry thunder out here in the West Coast, and it's starting fires and it's killing everybody, man. You know what I mean? We got earthquakes going on. We got tornadoes and hurricanes that ain't never been so as big as they ever been now.
We're definitely warming the place up, man.
Right.
Yeah,
so
definitely warming the place up.
So the vested interest is survival. And instincts to me say we have to learn as much as we can. And that's why I think that is so imperative, because if you put the technology that we have come up with today with the ancient knowledge of how to naturally use the earth, man, that's symbiosis.
I think what's blowing me here is if we know, and I got to get ready to go to bed, but if we know that they had this knowledge, how do we know that they had it if we can't like so let's say they could move things with magnets. How do we know they can move things with magnets?
Right.
Right.
Well,
Yeah. How do we
keep
know
on
that?
going.
Like, yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I think that it makes the most sense. I think that if you look at all the evidence, I think and how they were able to move buildings and stones as large as they were, I think some of the man, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do think there was man-made energy that we did, we really physically did that shit, right? But the
Yeah.
fact of the matter is there had to have been a way they did it that we don't understand right now. Look at
Yeah,
the
I'm
look at the
saying, but
building,
before we postulate that it was magnetic energy,
right?
like if we're gonna say, hey, there's something about this we don't know how they did it. Fair,
Right.
I'm with you.
Okay.
But the moment I say, like, what makes me say, oh, it must have been magnets?
Oh, okay. I get you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it was definitely magnet or the magnetic alignment in the earth. It could be sound, it could be magnets, it could be understanding geometry, a higher sense of geometry in a different way that we don't understand right now. It could be
Okay.
anything. I'm not saying it's just one thing. I'm saying
Okay.
it's a combination of things.
It could be lots
Right.
of those. Okay, I'm with
Right.
because I would assume that the moment we found out what they did, we could then understand how they did it.
Right.
If there was this if there was this proof that, hey, they use magnetics, well, that the way that I know that they use magnetics is I would have to understand how they use magnetics. Or if it was, oh, they did this through sound. The way that I know that it was through sound is because of the evidence of sound, right? So the moment we figured out what they did,
right,
then we will be well on our way to figuring out how they did it.
Right.
And I think if any of your kids or anybody's kids that might be watching this, or any parents out there that with I don't want to dismiss any of this, right? I agree with you. If people were out here getting free energy and doing all these things, like, great. And I also agree with you that the future is the most important thing. So if man, send these kids to school with these ideals, right? So that we can figure out, hey, this is how we do that.
Right.
But to know that a group of people may have done it that way, it's cool to hear the folklore or to hear the story of it.
Right.
Like, it's kind of like I was talking to one of my comedic friends, and they were talking about building pyramids and and I was like, yo, it's really great that people build pyramids. Like, that's amazing that people build pyramids. Can you build one?
Right.
So let's figure out how it was done. And if that can be helpful to us in today, then let's do that. Because I would, because then I could easily just reverse the process, right? I can go, okay, this is how that was engineered. Let me reverse engineer it.
Right.
We can do that. Matter of fact, back to this. I'm sorry. Guidance whiskey, actually a reverse engineered whiskey. I'll tell you that story later. They found a barrel of whiskey, and basically they reverse engineered it. It was an old barrel of whiskey they reverse engineered.
There we go. Reverse engineering.
Yeah, reverse. So, but once I figure out what was done, then I can reverse the process, right? So if there's free energy out there to be harnessed, okay, let's see where they did it. Then we'll reverse the process. If if they're giving out good clean energy where you don't have to use fossil fuels, great. Let's see how they did it. We can reverse the process.
Right.
Then how do we pull the process to scale? Like, is this something that can only be done in that area? Is this something we can scale worldwide? The logistics of it, right? So that it's not just like this. And I'm not saying what you're saying is a fairy tale, but it is a fairy tale until we
figure it out or prove it.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all magic till we figure out how to make it science.
Absolutely.
Man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Right. So if that is a true story, which, hey, I mean, I don't know much about that. It would be wild to me to tell you that's true or that's not true. I don't know much about. I didn't know much about Atlantis. I thought Atlantis was a city underwater. Right. That's all I knew about Atlantis. So if you're telling me, nah, bro, it's in Mauritania and da 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 da. Okay, great. That's a great place to start. And then let's go figure out, okay, what is it that they were doing? Is it folklore that kind of enhance the story, or were they really physically doing this?
Right.
If they were really physically doing it, what evidence do we have that they were physically doing this? Okay, boom. Once we figure out what the evidence is, this is the evidence. We know that they were moving things with these huge magnets, and they were using polarity or whatever. However, I don't fucking know how that goes.
Right.
But however they were doing it, then we can reverse engineer it, and then we can use that today. If it is feasible, if we don't have a better way of moving things, you know, or a cheaper way to move it, or a more efficient way of moving it, then perhaps we can use that.
Right.
So I don't never want to close myself off to that.
Right.
It's just that
it's a kind of a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And until we can make it a reality, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that it's impossible, right?
No,
I'm just saying that, you know, if it's been done before, right? If it's been done before, then we can do this. Right? What is the mechanism by which we do it? If the mechanism is supernatural, then because the only reason why I brought that up is because she talked about people levitate stones with the Tibetan monk. If the mechanism is supernatural, the question is it repeatable? Right. Is it scalable? Right. So how much God do we need to move this rock? Right. Or how many monks do we have to get in the building to, right? So again, the question is not so much, somebody asked me one time, how many angels can stand on the head of a pin? Right. Like, you know, so how testable and repeatable is this? Right. That's what's going to let me know how usable it is in my world. How testable and repeatable is it? If you tell me, you know, I prayed for my grandma and she was down a stage 4 cancer and she got over it. That's amazing. I love that for you. I love that for me. I love that for your grandma. Is this testable and repeatable? Are you telling me that you have a direct hotline that cures cancer? Because if that's the case, I'm gonna take you to the west wing of this hospital and we're gonna put you to work.
Right. And say, and that's the point. See, and that's the point. I'm not saying live in the past. I'm not saying that, you know, again, because what is supernatural? Supernatural is only something that we don't understand.
We don't understand.
Right. Until we understand it. And then once we understand it, what does it become? Natural. There you go.
Right, because we figure out the mechanism by which it works. So if we saying magnetics or electric fields or reverse polarities or however, you know, once we can put that into something that's testable and repeatable, then we change the world. And I feel like people should be, if these things, no. What am I trying to say? Some of my favorite people on the planet are Hebrew Israelites, and the reason I like Hebrew Israelites is because they are at least gangster enough to say, I believe this shit enough to live it. Right. Like they gonna do that shit best they know how. It might be weird. They might be looking like some Power Rangers on the side of the road, but they believe it enough to look like some fucking Power Rangers. Gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying? If we really believe in these lost arts, bro, let's get out there and find them. Right. Let's get out here and find them and then make them scalable. Bring them to the real world, like not the real world. Bring them to the world that we are all living in, so that we can really, like, I want a black person to go. I want an African American, fundamental black American to go over to Egypt and figure out, like they said that it was like supposed to be like the pyramids were supposed to be like. She talking about the towers, like the Tesla towers. Figure out the mechanism by which that works. Right. So that we can utilize that mechanism in the hood and stop paying power bills. Right. And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So figure that mechanism out. Right. So that we can bring that technology to the hood, generate our own power, stop paying power bills. And that's the point that I'm trying to reach at, because, and this is why I personally think history is so phenomenal. Because what it does is it forces you to think outside of the box. And then the more people that are thinking outside of the box, and you can disagree with me if you want, right? Yeah. But the more people that think outside of the box, the more that we can actually accomplish. I agree. I won't disagree with that at all. I believe that in order to have progress, somebody has to think the opposite of what we know. Right. And that's why I'm like, well, why couldn't this be true? And why couldn't we figure out the naturalistic? Because I am a completely naturalistic guy.
I am not a supernatural guy. I don't believe in quote unquote supernatural.
Yeah, the spookisms and shit.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that.
Yeah.
I look at things that we consider supernatural, quote unquote. I look at them as things that we don't understand.
Right.
Right. And so we don't understand why a dude fucking had cancer riddled through all of his body, and then the next day or in a week or two, all of a sudden he's gone into complete remission. We don't understand that because we don't understand our bodies, right? 100%, right? And so if we don't understand our bodies, right, and this is the most intimate thing that we should know, right? Then we don't know everything that has to do with science.
Yeah, right. And this I agree with this. Like I think that in order for us to really get a knowledge of a thing, we have to be able to create a methodology that says, hey man, we don't know everything. Right. If we knew everything, we could get all the answers, right? Like we don't have all the answers. So which is why I'm okay with us positing, okay, well, maybe they had some answers we don't have. Right. But in order for us to be able to translate those answers, we're gonna have to have a methodological approach. Right. So you know, that it's fine, well, and dandy to me, and I mean completely fine, well, and dandy. You know, whatever they had going on in Atlantis or whatever they had going on anywhere, this is cool. I love this. But how do I translate it
to now,
to
the
now?
present?
That's it. That's all I want to know. You know, go write me up the blueprint. You know, show me the electrical wiring. Show me how they were using this, right? And then okay, boom, I can build one of these in the house. For example, I'm into crypto mining right now, right? I own a crypto mine, and when people were first telling me about crypto mines, it didn't make sense to me, right? How are you getting that much power? Like, where are you getting this electricity from? Like, how are you paying this bill? And then eventually, I went through it and learned more about it, learned how to, you know, how to get that amount of power, talk to them, you know, worked it out. Now I got a crypto mine. Wow. But it was a pie in the sky dream at first because I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I didn't understand it. Right. I'm like, oh no, y'all making this up. But once I can make it real, then I can make it real. Bro, I appreciate you having me on here. I got to get some sleep. I got to.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Hey, Sebastian Cole, man, give everybody your links. Give everybody your usernames, whatever the fuck.
I literally am Sebastian Cole, just like you see me here. I'm the same on every single social media platform. Please follow me there. I'm Sebastian Cole on all of the streaming services. Check me there. I mean, that's from TikTok to Facebook to Twitter to Instagram, all Sebastian Cole, exactly how you see it there.
That's what I'm talking about.
A Cash App, all Sebastian Cole. Anywhere you want to find me, you can find me as Sebastian Cole.
So, hey, check this out. Hey, real quick, let me let everybody know, please support Sebastian Cole, man. Go check out his music. Go check out his YouTube. Go check out his Facebook, his Instagram. Make sure you follow him. If you haven't noticed already, this is one of the most open-minded individuals that we've ever talked to. Now, you guys know me. I'm above average militant, okay? and he is very open-minded. We have different ways of thinking, okay? But this brother and me have the same goal. This brother right here puts out good fucking music. If you want positive music that's going to touch you, from black men to black women. And I want y'all to understand this shit. He has a song. What is it? The bad. Which is it? The bad boy turn good or bad
Boys Break 2?
Yeah, bro. Boys Break 2. That's the one right there. You know what I mean?
Boys Break 2.
He look out for black men. He look out for men. He look out for women, right? And I want y'all to understand this. Please follow this man, because this is a special guest. You know, we're not gonna have too many of this. This dude is a motherfucking gem.
Man. I appreciate it, man. Y'all be good. Have a great night, man. I'll see you around.
Thank you, brother.
For sure.
All right, then. Hey, man. Oh, so tonight has been a beautiful fucking night. It has been absolutely wonderful. I hope you guys really appreciated this, man. Again, listen, you don't have to agree with everything he said. You don't have to agree with everything he believes in. You don't have to believe in everything. The fact of the matter is this man is an open-minded individual and he's willing to think about things and shit. You know what I mean? And so the thing is if you present an argument, he's willing to think. We need more people out here that's willing to do the things that he's willing to do. You see what I'm saying? I try to do that as much as possible, but he's so much better at it than me. I mean, one of the biggest reasons is because of what I study and because what I know to be fact, right? And I kind of try to stay in my lane. But this, like, I need y'all to support this man because it is almost impossible to find people like this. All right. So I really hope you guys appreciate Sebastian Cole and everything he brought here tonight, man. Hopefully we're going to get a lot of reviews and a lot of great, comments. If you are on YouTube right now, please like, subscribe, double punch that notifications, and come back and join us, man. Look, I challenge people. I challenge everyone. You saw me tonight. I push back on everybody. I don't know everything, right? None of us know everything. Thank you very much, Wigga. I appreciate that. None of us know everything. But the more that we take the time out to listen to other people, the more time we take out to go out here and try to learn something about all the different people that we're dealing with, the more we can learn. He's a little bit more forgiving than me. I'm not as forgiving. I think it's, but that doesn't separate from his end goal and my end goal. You see what I'm saying? We can differ on a lot of different things, but our end goals are the same. And I think that's so important for the Black community, especially the FBA community today. When we're talking about FBA Black folks, when we're talking about, what we have to do to better ourselves. You heard so many things tonight. And I know some people might have missed it amongst the conversation, but I want y'all to understand. We told you we need to fucking go out here in this conversation tonight. Go back and listen to it again. We told you we need more independent minds. We need people that's going to go out there and do it. We need warriors. We need people that's going to fucking sit out here and keep on fighting because that's what the fuck we need, right? Right? And I want y'all all to understand this shit. So I want to send out a special shout out to Sebastian Cole. I totally fucking appreciate him coming on. I knew it would be awesome to have him on here, and I knew a lot of people were like, yeah, maybe not, and blah, 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 blah. But I really, 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 really appreciate him, and I really appreciate him. Hopefully we're going to keep on bringing on really great guests that I do love Callie Graham. I got you. I really do think that we're going to have more people on here. But again, I bring people on here that don't necessarily think the same as me on purpose. And Sebastian Cole is one of the first examples of that. And I hope you guys appreciated Sebastian and the show. And I hope you guys pick something up from this, because I know it sounded like people just discussing things, but I promise you, if you really pay attention to everything that we were talking about solutions also. There were solutions in there. You just have to think outside of the box. So I hope you paid attention to that. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say thank you for joining us tonight. Rob had to leave a little bit earlier. He was getting a little bit tired because over there where Rob is, it's like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And we was dripping gems, right? We was. And honestly, people ain't gonna notice the gems that we was dripping tonight, because we were talking in such a way that, it kind of made you think. But the people that's ready for it is gonna hear it, and the people that's not ready for it is not gonna hear it. So it is what it is. All right. So I am gonna call it a night. And make sure you come back next Wednesday. Every single Wednesday, at right around 8 o'clock, 8:30. Tonight we came in a little bit late because we were trying to help Sebastian get on. So we're going to try to keep it on. We're going to try to make it between 7 and 8 every single weekend, or every single Wednesday. So please come on back every Wednesday. Drunken Monk, I'm thinking I'm going to need you to come on to the show, bro. Not going to lie. I'm thinking next week or the week afterwards, I'm going to need you to come on to the show because you got just as many gems. And again, the fact of the matter is this. I don't agree with Sebastian on everything. I don't agree with Drunken Monk on everything. That's not the point. The end goal is the point. And as long as us black folks, foundational black Americans, and primarily, not just, but primarily, as long as we can understand that, agreeing is useless. As long as we can understand that everybody has a different frame of mind. You know what I mean? We can still get somewhere and we can still make positive moves and positive changes. All right. So with that being said, everybody, I want to fucking go off. Go check out my boy Lace 434. I didn't introduce him in the beginning, but I want to fucking put it out there real quick. Go check out Lace 434. The background music you heard tonight was either Sebastian Cole or Lace 434. Go check them both out on YouTube. Go check out their music. I absolutely love Blurry Lines. Blurry Lines is like my shit right now. I play that shit on replay. So go check out Sebastian Cole, Blurry Lines. But all the fucking instrumentals came from Lace 434 on YouTube. Again, Lace 434 on YouTube. He's given me complete permission to play his shit. I just do it. I love this dude. He puts up real good music, real good instrumentals. So go check out Lace 434. Go check out Sebastian Cole and go listen to his Numb album. Go listen to the albums that he had before. Fucking please, these guys put out positive music, good music, you know what I mean? Shit that we need to promote and we need to help. All right. With that being said, I want to tell everybody thank you for coming in. Thank you for your you guys coming in. For the 112 people that came in tonight, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And with that being said, man, I think we're about fucking done. Stay up, stay real, stay black, stay doing your motherfucking thing. It is Reality Check Virtual Radio. And that's the show. Go check me out. Cash App, Reality Check Virtual Radio, or Cash App is $ Reality Check VR2. Reality Check VR2. If you can, drop a fucking donation. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your energy. And we the fuck out of this bitch.